Thank you everyone for joining me on this wonderful Saturday morning. Hello, my name is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here and you happen to like what you see, please do me a favor, click that subscribe button and ring that bell notification. And thank you for spending a few minutes of your time with me on this Saturday morning. For those of you who have been here for a little while, you might notice I look a little whiter than usual. That's because of the time. I actually almost never record this early in the morning, and thus the sun is actually not agreeing with the lighting conditions. So, lesson learned. However, I do want to talk about this because this was a pretty big one. I want to talk about it last night, but my parents are in town. So by the way, if you hear some stuff in the background, some talking, some dishes clanging, my mom's making some spaghetti sauce with Katie, and so that's what that is. Please try to ignore it as we talk about the story. But anyway, Uber is crashing and burning. They are totally crashing and burning. Like, some people have actually asked me, people have put in the comments hey Kevin, we like the new videos, and by the way, I appreciate that, by the way, but you are known as an Uber guy. You have been an Uber guy for a long time. Why don't you continue to specialize this? And I've been telling people, and I think this highlights very clearly why I can't just be an Uber guy anymore. Because Uber is going away. They are going away. We can't even really debate that anymore. I mean, some people might say, oh no, they'll be around for a long time, someone will buy them, yada, yada, yada. No, they're dying. They are dying. They are not going to last too long. And here's the thing. If I know they're not going to last too long, I can't make them a career choice. I just can't. So I already made that mistake with my other channel where I did nothing but talk about MoviePass, and MoviePass went under, and well, now that channel is pretty much dead. I mean, I can revive it, and that's one of my New Year's goals, is to revive that, but and bring it back to where it was and maybe even excel at it. But here's the thing. Oh, we've got a software update, of course. Yeah, I don't want to install that right now. So that was perfect timing. But anyway, let's look at this article. We're going to actually look at several articles today. But Uber to quit Colombia after judge says it doesn't compete fairly. This is, by the way, the most hilarious headline that I have read in a while about Uber. They are to quit Colombia because the judge says they don't compete fairly. They don't. They really, really don't. Now, some people might say, well, what's fair in business? You know what? Maybe that's a fair question. Business is war. It really is. So, no, what's that old saying? All's lost in love and war, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember it, to be perfectly honest. I've never really no, all's fair in love and war. That's what it is. So yeah, if you're at war with other companies and you're trying to make money and you're trying to build your carve your place in the world, then yeah, what's fair? It's war. And yet Uber builds its business off being unfair to everyone. They're unfair to the cities, they're unfair to the taxis, they're unfair to the drivers who drive the Ubers. And so I guess Colombia just finally said, enough is enough. So here's what it says. Uber Technologies is ending its ride-hailing service in Colombia after a local regulator ruled the company wasn't competing fairly. The service will stop functioning from February 1st in response, the company said in a statement. Food delivery service Uber Eats will continue to operate because, that's technically something different. By the way, when people ask how can Uber argue that, with the AB5 test that, the drivers aren't core to their business, it's probably because of things like this. Uber Eats, that's technically different from, transportation. Uber said the December 20th decision by a judge at the industry's market regulator, which found that Uber's app violated competition norms, was, quote, surprising and arbitrary. Was it surprising? Because as we're about to find out, something tells me this has happened quite a few times and you should have been prepared for it. And said it appealed the decision. Cotec SA, a taxi service platform, filed a lawsuit against Uber. Uber says it has 2 million customers and 88,000 drivers in the country. It has been operating in Colombia for 6 years, with its presence generating several protests by taxi drivers. Many Colombians are afraid to hail taxis in the street in the nation's crime-ridden cities. One taxi crime, known as the Millionaire Ride, involves stopping the car to enable armed accomplices to enter before taking the victim to ATM machines to empty the rider's bank accounts. Rough. So anyway, we're not gonna do all that. But here's the thing: Colombia has officially said get out, and so February 1st, Uber will be ceasing operations, at least their rideshare operations, in Colombia. And here's the thing: we could definitely have a debate about what is fair in this and not. I will acknowledge most of the complaints are coming from taxi drivers. Uber is putting taxis out of business, and you could argue that Uber is a better business overall. Like, it just makes more sense. I mean, why can't taxis have their own app? Why can't they, if they're all unionized and get together, why can't they get together, have like an Uber system style app? Why can't they advertise? Why can't they compete with Uber? Like, why do they have to sue Uber to get their way? And one of the problems, of course, is like at least in America, the regulations. There are things that taxis have to abide by that Uber does not. Like, I was listening to the Rideshare Guys podcast years ago, where a taxi driver was talking about his experiences with Uber and what Uber had an advantage. One of the advantages that Uber has is if you call a taxi, I didn't know this. If you call a taxi, like you reserve a taxi and you say, hey, I'm at this place, I need you to come pick me up, and the taxi comes and they drive up. If someone else sees the taxi and they get in the cab and they said, take me here, taxi has to go. He cannot say, no, I'm here for someone else. He has to take them. That's one of the regulations. An Uber driver is under no obligation. So that might be one of the reasons why your taxi never shows up. Maybe it did show up. Someone saw it was a taxi. They needed a ride. They got in. They left. But here's the thing. This is not the only place. So let's go over here. We all know about their London, pretty much, whatever, has told them that they, want to get out. Now, Uber's, of course, appealing it, but there you go. Now, also, where else they got banned? They got banned in Germany because Germany banned their ride-hailing service. A German court on Tuesday banned Uber ride-hailing services in Germany, arguing the U.S. company lacks a necessary license to offer passenger transport services using rental cars. By the way, London said the same thing. Like, you don't have a license or you don't have a proper license. It's not all up to code, if you will. So they got rid of them. And then, of course, we're all familiar about what's going on. This is about Colombia again. This was supposed to be, I must have accidentally closed it, the whole AB5 thing in California. They are suing California. And then you have stories like this in France, where Uber's Me Too moment in France. The ride-hailing company is facing a backlash after women took to social media to share stories of sexual harassment and assault. So, here's the thing. The uproar prompted France's Secretary of Equality, Marlene Schiappa, I hope I pronounced that right, I'm sorry if I didn't, to summon Uber's French directors to a meeting on December 12th. So, if there is a message you should be taken away from this, it is this. And look, I don't want to be a negative Nancy. This is another reason why most of the content's going in a different direction now, because I can't do this every single day without looking like a negative Nancy or just a tad bit obsessed. But if there is a message to take away from this video, and many of the videos before, but especially this one, if you're doing rideshare for a full-time living, get out. Get out of it. There's no future in this. They're being banned all over the place. I don't know if they're going to be banned in America. That might be a tall order because, America has like a typically very poor reaction to companies that steamroll over competition and human rights. I mean, Walmart's still a thing. Amazon, of course, is the big example. You have Apple out there, and then you have like Google and Facebook listening to privacy everywhere, to all of our private, most intimate moments. Like, Facebook knows when you go to the bathroom. It's scary. So Uber might still be around in America, but here's the thing, it's not going to look the same. It's not going to look the same. AB5 is just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to change, and it's changing rapidly. And in all these other countries, they're being kicked out. At some point, I have to wonder if they get kicked out of enough countries, like if London says, nope, you still have to get out, if Colombia says you're staying out, if France decides they want to get rid of them, Germany pretty much said no at this point. What if Ireland says no? What if Mexico says no? What if Canada says no? Canada's actually pretty good about these antitrust things. I mean, I'm sorry, there's just no future in it. So here's the thing. I know some people need to do Uber to make a little extra money. Fine, I respect it. I mean, I think there's a lot of part-time jobs you can get, but hey, that's your personal decision. But here, I'm telling you, I have to let's go over this one. This one's a better picture. I have to stress, this is not going to be around forever. It might not even be around after a couple of years. So one of the things that my friend Drive Girl Drive said, and by the way, we're talking about doing like a little reunion podcast. So keep an eye out for things like that. One of the things she said very early on is rideshare is a stepping stone for another opportunity. So for me, just to show that I was able to turn lemons to lemonade, like when I signed up for Uber, it was because I really needed money, and they paid a lot better. And I was going to do Uber for a long time. I loved it. I wanted to do it full time. But it resulted in me making this channel. And by the time Uber started slipping, the channel was doing better. So then I moved on to the channel. And now that the rideshare thing is kind of like not, doing as well on the channel, well, guess what? We're moving on to something else. And by the way, just to let you know, I'm seeing the subscribers go up. So thank you to all my new subscribers who definitely like the new content. But you must always use rideshare as a stepping stone for the next big thing. Rideshare's not going to be around forever. It might not even be around for a couple of years. You might be making good money now. You won't be making good money. Heck, you could be deactivated before the thing even falls apart. Almost everybody either quits or gets deactivated. There's not too many people I've seen who have driven for more than 5 years. Usually the average is 3. Not saying they don't exist, just saying that's the average. So, looking at all these articles, what's happening with Uber. They are drowning. They are failing. The stock is still doing poorly. It's up the last month. Admittingly, it's up $3, but it's not up to 45, and who knows if it's ever going to reach that $45 mark. And it seems unlikely. So, if you're doing it, start making an exit strategy. One of the great things about doing Uber and Lyft, it gives you time to plan for job interviews and to have a little bit of free time to beef up your resume. If you're just doing it for a little extra money, hey, do it as long as you want. As long as you want. But if you're doing this as a full-time job, start planning to get out of it as soon as possible. But of course, that's where we're going to leave it. So I'd like to know what you guys think about it, and what do you think about Colombia doing what they've done and all these other countries. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Just a little bit of a quick update. Tomorrow will be the return of the recap podcast, where all of the videos are in one video so that you can listen to a podcast style on the road if you want. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow because, again, the folks are here and we want to spend time with them. So there might not be a live stream tomorrow, but it will return next week if not. So anyway, that's what I have to say. Catch you later. Have a good Saturday.